Dr. Marcus Voss had built his career on other people's mirrors. Not literal mirrors, faces. He was the surgeon celebrities flew to see in private jets, the one who never posted before and afters because he didn't need to. His work walked red carpets for him. $50,000 bought you cheekbones that trended. $100,000 bought you a jawline that got you cast. His base fee ran $110,000, a figure his clients considered a bargain, given who they were trying to become. He had done it for 20 years, and he had done it well, until the night he did it to his own daughter. It happened during a live stream. That was the detail nobody at the hospital could quite process. That a father would let a camera into the room while he administered a new laser resurfacing technique on his own child, because she'd begged him, because she had 400,000 followers who wanted to watch, because sponsorship money was sponsorship money, and Ivy Voss had grown up believing that anything worth doing was worth broadcasting. The generator surged. A cable someone forgot to ground. The laser held its beam a half-second longer than it should have. By morning, the clip had 11 million views, and Ivy no longer had a face anyone would recognize. Real scary stories after dark from Innovate Entertainment. 3 years later, the Voss estate sat above the coastline, like something that had given up on being seen. The gates never opened for deliveries. The hedges grew wild. Locals told their kids it was haunted, and the kids believed them, because nothing about the house looked lived in, except for the light. Every window burned pale blue after dark, all night, every night, the flicker of 100 screens nobody else was watching. Inside, Marcus no longer practiced medicine. He had surrendered his license, settled the lawsuits, vanished from every registry that mattered. But the equipment stayed. The operating suite in the East Wing stayed, sterile and humming, because a man doesn't stop being a surgeon just because the world stops calling him one. He had one patient left. Ivy lived in the room at the top of the stairs, behind a door that locked from the inside. She wore silk scarves wound loosely around the lower half of her face, the way some women wear them for fashion, except hers never came off in front of him. She still had her phone. She still scrolled for hours, watching girls she used to compete with book campaigns, watching her own old videos loop in fan compilations titled, "Remember Her?" and "Where is she now?" She had not spoken above a whisper since the accident, but she typed constantly, comments nobody answered, on accounts nobody thought to trace back to a dead girl. Marcus told himself he was going to fix her. He told himself this every morning, the way other men tell themselves they'll quit drinking. He needed a face, a young one, healthy, well photographed enough that the muscle memory of being looked at hadn't atrophied. Grafting wasn't the hard part anymore. He'd solved that in a lab notebook nobody would ever publish. The hard part was finding someone whose face wouldn't be missed for long enough. That was where Renata came in. Renata Cole had been a talent manager once, the kind who discovered 18-year-olds in shopping malls and turned them into brands. She still had the eye. She still had the DMs saved from 100 small accounts she'd built trust with over months, sliding into replies, offering brand deals that never quite existed, collaborations that always required just one more meeting, one more location scout, one more drive out to see the shoot house by the water. She found Dana Okafor scrolling through a coastal aesthetic hashtag, 19 years old, 40,000 followers. Desperate the specific way only a 19-year-old with 40,000 followers can be desperate. Renata offered her a partnership with a skincare line that didn't exist. Dana said yes before Renata finished the sentence. "Bring your ring light," Renata told her. "The house has incredible natural lighting, but bring it anyway, for the reels." "Can I post the address?" My followers always ask where I shoot. Not this one, Renata said, smiling like it was nothing. The client's private, part of the NDA. You can tease it, just no location, no landmarks, nothing geotagged. They're strict about that. Dana said that made it feel even more exclusive, and she meant it. She brought the ring light. She brought a tripod, 2 outfit changes, and a water bottle she never got to finish. She posted from the car anyway, careful the way she'd been told to be. A close-up of her own excited face, Gates blurred out of frame behind her, captioned, "NDA content coming soon. Can't say where, but trust me." Her last post was a selfie in the foyer, framed tight enough that nothing behind her gave the room away. Captioned, "This house is unreal. Can't wait to show you guys." It got 9,000 likes before anyone noticed she'd stopped posting. Marcus worked fast once he had what he needed. He always did. That was the thing nobody understood about men like him. The horror wasn't in hesitation, it was in competence. His hands didn't shake. They never had. Guilt lived somewhere else in him, in a room he kept as locked as Ivy's. He told himself, every time, that this was the last one. He told himself Ivy deserved a life back. He told himself the girls chose this, chose the DMs, chose the free trip, chose to walk into a stranger's house because a stranger's house had good lighting and a follower count attached. He never let himself finish the thought that came after that one. The graft failed on the 4th day, the way they always failed. Rejection, fever, the slow gray spreading Marcus had learned to recognize the way other men recognize weather. He sat by Ivy's bed and held the mirror up anyway, because she asked him to, because some tenderness had survived everything else about him. She looked for a long time. Then she reached up, scarred hand, careful fingers, and pulled her own scarf away for the first time in 3 years. "I don't want her face," she whispered. It was the first full sentence she'd spoken since the accident. "I want mine. Nobody's making that." The police came 11 days later. It wasn't a tag or a post that led them there. Dana had been too careful for that, exactly as instructed. It was her mother in Ohio who refused to stop calling, who remembered the phrase NDA content and private client, and dug through every DM until she found the courier service Renata had used once, years earlier, under her real name. They found the operating suite, the refrigerated storage, the folder of names, 23 of them, going back further than anyone wanted to count. They found Renata in the kitchen, calmly deleting a conversation thread with a 20-year-old in Tulsa who hadn't written back yet. They did not find Marcus. They did not find Ivy. The house was searched 3 times. Every hallway, every closet, the operating suite, the wine cellar, the crawl space under the east wing. Nothing. No car missing from the garage, no footprints in the wet grass, no sign that 2 people had left a house with only one road leading out of it. 8 months later, a new account appeared, with no origin story attached to it. No old posts, no tagged friends, no location history. Just a woman filming coastal sunsets with her face angled carefully away from direct light. Captions written in a voice that felt oddly formal, oddly careful, like someone still learning what a normal sentence sounded like out loud. She gained 200,000 followers in 6 weeks. Brands reached out. She declined every one. In her 17th video, the camera caught, for less than a second, a reflection in the window behind her. A man standing in a doorway, watching the screen over her shoulder, his expression unreadable, patient, proud. Nobody in the comments noticed. They were too busy asking why she never showed her whole face, and whether underneath it She might be even prettier than they'd already decided she was.